Very good afternoon. Now I am going to record my lecture today. So it is about ecologism. Now we are going to talk about introduction of the ecologism, right? So I think for you this is a very new ideology because as an ideology, ecologism can be seen in very recent history. It is not older ideology like Marxism and liberalism and anarchism or conservatism, right? So on the other hand, it is very practical and it is very interesting one. I think you all uh, will be happy about hearing my words uh, about ecologism, right? So now I'm going to share my screen. Can you see it? Hello? Can you see the screen?
No, sir.
Okay, wait a few minutes. Now I think it's fine. Wait. Another 1 minute.
Okay, sir.
Can you see?
Yeah, sir.
Still no? Wait 1 minute. All right. Can you see now? Can you see the screen now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So I think what I say.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What I say now, I'm going to talk about ecologism. So it is not like older ideology like Marxism, fascism, and also anarchism and liberalism, right? This is very young ideology, but it has sophisticated history. But
Sir,
yeah,
did we finish feminism?
I think so.
Okay, sir. Okay. We didn't get the slides.
Yes, I will send all these things.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. So then, definitions. First of all, we want to know about what is called ecologism, right? The term ecology was derived from the Greek term oikos, right? The term ecology, the term English term ecology was derived. This derived means came from the Greek term oikos, right? Oikos mean the household or habitat. It means household or habitat or surrounding area about us, right? So now you can see, I mean, what are the surrounding things of me? So you can see there's a coconut tree, then the sea, right? Then a small mountain is there behind me. Then after we can assume that there are some animals, insects, then the snakes, birds, then other beautiful things like flowers, flora and fauna, right? There are many things we can assume they all these things are inside the particular mountain and which is covered by the forest, right? You can see behind my face the small mountain which is covered by the forest, right? So when you're talking about how habitat, now actually that's not actual habitat, that is fake one. It was given by the Zoom software, right? But when we go to the sea and to enjoy or to work or to do something, to drink coconut water or something, we can have that kind of experience, right? So now I am sitting at my office, my residence in Kinchugune quarters. So if I think about my surroundings, there are buildings, almari, table, books, wire, telephone, then the internet connection, then fan, lights, then other personal stuffs, then iron, then basket, then also heater, water bottles, sandals, umbrella, and there are many things, right? Bed and all these things. But if I think deeply, I can find some ants, sometimes uh, some insects other than ants, right? So then if I open the window, I can see trees, beautiful flowers, beautiful butterflies, then the beautiful sky, beautiful air. Then if I go to the other way, so then first of all, I can find the dustbin. So if I open it, I can see some sort of what's called food, decayed foods, so which were dropped by our neighbors. Then after insects, some kind of bacteria and virus. If I see through the lens of microscope, right? So those are the kind of things surrounding me in this moment, right? Actual things. So if I talk about my habitat or my household, all these things are interconnected. All these things are there. All these things are in here, right, with me. But sometimes I can see them visibly. Sometimes I cannot see them visibly because it is invisible most of the time, right? So the term ecology means visible and invisible surroundings around us. That's the meaning of ecology, or oikos in Greek, right? That's the meaning of habitat. I think now you can have idea about environment or ecology, which is surrounding us, right? Visible and invisible things, visible and invisible parts, visible and invisible organs surrounding us, or inorganic things. Sometimes inorganic things are there. I mean, material things are there, right? Mobile phones, so then bicycle, cars, pen, then the purse, right? Books. They are not organic. They are inorganic, right? What are the things surrounding us? Visible, organic or inorganic? All this can be considered as the surrounding or environment uh, uh, of our life, right? So I think you can understand this phenomenon. This is very interesting and very practical one. Recently developed a political ideology, right? So then that's the meaning of household or habitat. Then ecology or ecologism cannot be categorized or identified as left-wing political ideology or right-wing political ideology. As political science students, you know, political ideology can be divided into mainly two parts: left-wing political ideologies and right-wing political ideologies, or we can say leftist political ideologies and rightist political ideologies, right? For example, for the leftist political ideologies, Marxism, socialism, anarchism uh, can be pointed out, right? So then, for the rightist political ideologies, liberalism, pacificism, nationalism can be pointed out, can be identified, right? So ecologism, feminism cannot be categorized, cannot put in that one or two basket, right? Cannot put them into leftist political basket of the leftist political ideology, or they cannot put into the basket of rightist political ideology, right? Because they are unique. They cannot be divided into certain groups, right? That's the meaning of no left, no right political divide, right? Another thing is no established doctrines. Doctrines means established theories, such as Marxism. You can see Marx-Leninist, then Maoism, right? Then if we talk about liberalism, we can see the doctrines or theories of Thomas Hobbes, John Locke, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, John Rawls, Adam Smith, John Maynard Keynes, and also F.A. Hayek. Then after Amartya Sen, the very famous, very distinguished Indian scholar, Asian scholar, Amartya Sen, right? There are many scholars aligned with liberalism, then the Marxism, socialism. If I talk about socialism, we can see Robert Owen, then after Sinewave, right? Uh, we can find them, right? But if we talk about ecologism, there is no established or confined theories and doctrines, right? Ecologism, we can find certain theories and concepts which are borrowed from different political theories, political ideologies, political streams, or traditional beliefs or religion, right? Is it clear? If I talk about ecologism, we cannot find any established or confined, or I mean limited theories or doctrines aligned with ecologism, because time to time, contest to contest, there are many theories and concepts. They are borrowed from certain political ideologies and theories or philosophies, or otherwise Asian or Asian or other countries' beliefs, people's beliefs, folk beliefs, or ancient religions like Taoism, Jainism, Hinduism, Buddhism, then Islamism. So the other things is Greek philosophy from the Greek myths, right? Certain concepts they borrowed from other field. They are not limited for the certain theories and concepts. That's why no established doctrines, right? No established philosophies, but it doesn't mean that there's no philosophy. Obviously, there's a philosophy and philosophical parts are there. It is obviously it is obvious, right? It does means there is no very deep and confined philosophy like Marxism and liberalism, right? So then, basically, ecologism emerged with German slogan, neither left nor right, but ahead. It means neither left nor right, but ahead. As political science students, I think that you all are aware about Germany, right? Because 1939, Germany got new leadership and started to Second World War under the leadership of Adolf Hitler. Then 1945, it was defeated by the other powers, right? USA and Russia, USSR. Then after, the capital of the German, the Berlin, was divided into two parts, right? It means that Germany was divided into two parts by making a wall. Then it is called Berlin Wall. I think you heard about that, right? After the Second World War, after the defeat of Germany, then Germany was divided into two parts, Eastern and Western Germany. Eastern Germany and Western Germany by making a wall, big wall. It's called Berlin Wall, right? So, however, eastern part of the Germany, eastern part from the Berlin Wall was controlled by USSR-led government. USSR support or USSR backed government. Then the Western Germany was ruled by the Western powers supported government, right? So then at that time, Germany was divided into two parts. Likewise, the political world was also divided into two parts. One part was led by Soviet bloc, which was led by USSR, Union of Soviet Socialist Russia, USSR. Then other part was led by USSR and other capitalist, sorry, USA and other capitalist countries, right? That was the world we had experienced when 1950 or 1960. That particular context, that particular environment, new political ideology emerged, particularly in Germany. So then they started to say, neither left, we are not the leftist, neither right. It means we are not the rightist, but we want to go forward. We want to think about our future. Neither right, neither left, but forward. But go ahead. That's our vision. That's our mission. What they said, neither left nor neither right, but ahead. From that slogan, new ideology, which is called ecologism, came into exist, right? I think you can understand what I said. If you have any questions, comments, or clarifications, want to clarify something, now this is time for you. You can ask questions, comments, and clarification. Can ask questions to clarify. Hello? Anything from your side? Senali?
Yes, sir.
Know anything? Understand everything?
Yes, I understood.
Then others? What about the others? Hello? Is it clear everything?
Yes, sir.
Who is this? Sankalpani. Then Shamila and Rosan. Today Rosan is with us, right? Shamila?
Sir.
Fine.
Yeah, sir.
Yeah, Dullani. Then Monambal, Rosan, how do you feel? Is it clear? It is clear for you? Everything is fine for you? Rosan, yes, I think you can use the chat box, right? It is free now. You're not using chat box, so then if you have I mean questions, problem, or want to clarify anything, if I ask a question, can you understand, can you hear everything, then you, if your internet connection is not stable, you just put a message through the chat box, right? Dullahani? Right, now I'm going to move next slide, right? Yes, Dullahani?
No, sir, there is a connection problem.
Yes, everyone has connection problem. Wait 1 minute. Hello? हाँ make you log under ना. What what हाँ हाँ hari make you log under. Yes, Dulhani, we all have having connection problem, then the thundering problem, electricity problem, right? But we have to bear all these things, right? Otherwise, we cannot move forward. Then German zoologist Ernest Haeckel in 1866, the investigations of the total relations of the animal both to organic and its inorganic environment. That's the meaning, that's the word we had discussed before. According to Ernest Haeckel, which was expressed in 1866, right? According to Ernest Haeckel, environment means organic and inorganic matters which are surrounding with us. So that's the meaning of environment. So then, early years of the 20th century, ecology has been recognized as a branch of biology. Before early years of the 20th century, we cannot find an ideology under the name of ecologism, because the ideas of the ecologism were there, but combined with biology as a branch of biology, right? Studies the relationship amongst living organism and their environment. At that time also studied the relationship amongst living organisms and their environment, living organism, living creatures and their environment, living creatures and organic and inorganic environment of them, right? They were studied from that period also. So then, however, ecologism within the meaning of politics came into exist in 1960s. Until then, ecologism did not understand as the term, which does not understand the term with political sense. All right, there are thundering on the sky, so that's why I was a bit confused. Big thundering uh, is there, right? However, we will go forward. What I mean, what I said, until 1960, the ideas of ecology or oikos, or the study of living organism and their environment, was there in the ancient history as a branch of biology, but it did not imply the political sense. The term within the political sense was emerged in 1960s, especially with aligned with the growing green movement as a new ideology. Is it clear? Again, I will explain. Up until 1960s, right? You can remember 1960, before 1960 and after 1960. Before 1960, right? 60s, the ideas today we are referencing under the term of ecologism were there before 1960. They were there studying living organism and their environment. Living organism means human and I mean animals, then other living creatures, right? Virus, bacteria, and all these things. Visible and invisible living creatures and their environment were studied by the scientists as branch of biology before 1960. Before 1960, the ideas of ecologism were there, but they were not used for political purposes. They were not used for political purposes. They were not used to denote the political meaning. But when 1960s, there was a special moment in Germany. It is called Green Movement. Why they are labeled as Green Movement? Because they were the first group who spoke openly about environment and environmental protection, right? They started to talk about environment and environmental protection. Then after, the young groups, youth engaged with green movement, they also started to think about social policies and public policies which are related with our environment and environmental politics, right? Then after, ecologism, the term ecologism emerged or came into exist as the sense of, within the sense of politics and political science. Then the term ecologism came into exist with the sense of politics and political science. It was aligned with green movement which was occurred in Germany in 1960s. After 1960, the term ecologism can be seen with the meaning of politics. That's why political scientists and students of political science must know about ecologism as a political ideology. However, it is considered as new political ideology, not like older one, right? Is it clear? I think I will try to explain all these things very simply. I think you can have basic idea or clear idea about the origin of the ecologism, right? Is it clear? So then we'll try to see another slide. Any questions from your side? Please start to use chat box. Now I'm asking a question. Do you have any questions? If you don't have questions, please use the chat box and put it no, or if you have, put it in yes. Now start to do that. Otherwise, you will not use the chat box. You will be just a listener, not active listeners. Right? Please do it. Did you find a chat box? I can see 3 messages. What about the others? There are 8 members in this group today. Understood, sir. Mohanambal, Rosan. Yes, sir, clear. Senale, Dahanayaka, Teruan. No, sir. So what about the others? Please do it. Dulani, no, sir. Yes. Then others? Who is this? Shamila. Okay, now. Right. Then the term green has been used since 1950s. Green has been used since the 1950s in the sense of politics, right? In the field of politics. Otherwise, before that, the term was there, right? To denote the color, the green color. But within the sense of politics and political science, the term green has been used since the 1950s, right? Then indicates sympathy for, it used to indicate sympathy for environmental issues or projects and the late 1970s. It has been adopted by a growing number of environmental problems. Environmental problems, because of the development, we can have number of environmental problems, right? I think you all know about, because of the development and because of our practices, day-to-day practices, because of our refrigerators, because of uh, carbon emissions and many of things, ozone layer was damaged, right? Because of our practices. But due to COVID-19 period, that's the positive aspect of COVID-19, right? So because of the COVID-19, people cannot move like previously, right? Um, they are not so many busy with their work and industry. In the many big industries were closed down, they were shut down. Because of that, the scientists found that the ozone layer uh, was automatically repaired by itself, because there's no carbon emission and other things, right? That's the positive aspect of COVID-19, right? There are many negative aspects and positive aspects as well. So then the next term, environmentalism. Environmentalism also used since the 1950s. The central belief that human life can only be understood in the context of the natural world. The central belief of the environmentalism is that human life can only be understood in the context of the natural world. Many of us, most of time, think about, or we are trained by our ancestors, by our society, by our societal members, by our education, by our way of life, by our media and social media. We are trained to think in such a way. What's the way? We are trained to think trained to think as the bosses of this natural world. Most of the time we are thinking that way, right? We feel that we are the bosses. We are the owners of this natural world. We are the owners of this world. Human beings are more intelligent. They are they are having more intellectual capacity and brain capacity. They are having science and technology. We are using the output of the science and technology, modern equipments, right? We, we are contributing to develop it, right? But think about what has happened to us, right? Then a tsunami came, what we can do. Then the COVID-19 came, right? We cannot do anything, right? Up to now, we cannot do anything without doing small things like wearing mask and washing hands and other things. We cannot do. But while we are thinking, we feel that we are the bosses of this environment. We are the bosses of all animals. We are the bosses of all living creatures, all organic and inorganic materials surrounding us. We are the bosses. We are the rulers of them, right? So if I fly by a train, by a plane, right? When I was in a plane, inside the plane, what I feel that how innocent, how helpless we are. Natural world is very big than the ours, right? Than the us. Natural world is very big, but many people, many countries, many superpowers, they're thinking that we are the bosses. We can control the world. We are thinking in that way. We are trained to think in that way. We are trained, as I mentioned before. By whom? By our parents, ancestors, societal members, our neighbors, teachers, education, then also media, social media. All these things are there to train us for what? To think like bosses of the natural world. But that's not the truth. That's not the truth. Right? How small we are when we think about our planet, right? That's why the term, meaning of the terms environmentalism, that is the belief which is related with human life, can only be understood in the context of the natural world. We are part of it. We are not the bosses of the natural world. It covers a wide variety of beliefs. The term environmentalism covers a wide variety of beliefs, scientific beliefs, religious beliefs, economic beliefs, political beliefs, rather than a particular set of policies. Environmentalism means a set of beliefs. As I mentioned before, all these beliefs were borrowed from science, religion, economy, politics, society, and myths. Though they are labeled as myths, they are not myths. In the real sense, they are not myths. Right? So then, ecologism has developed into an ideology in its own right. Ecologism has developed into an ideology in its own right, in its own way. It was shaped and it was by sharpened to achieve environmental protection. That's very important ideology in this particular context, right? Although modern environmental or green politics did not emerge until the 1960s, ecological ideas can be traced back to much more time. Much more time. The concept of an earth mother, in Sinhala it is called Prithvi Mata. I don't think it is in Sinhala. I think it is in Sanskrit. Prithvi Mata. Eh? Prithvi Mata. Then Bhumi Mata. Again, it's Sanskrit, I think. Bhumi Mata, Prithvi Mata. Right? These are the concepts we believed from our ancient time. We treated our planet like our mother. But what was happened to us today, We are having certain barriers. We are having certain frontiers, borders. The nation state, you all know about that. We have one particular land for one particular nation state, right? So then we are confined to think only our certain land, not the whole planet. What I mean, then I mean, under the nation state system, what we are doing, we think about land, we think about environment, but we think about environment which is belong to us. We think about the land or Prithvi Mata or Bhumi Mata, which is belong to us. I mean, not the Sri Lankan, all the people in the world, they're thinking in that way. They only think about their own land. They don't care about what will be happen to others and their lands and their environment. They only think about themselves. They only think about their environment. They only think about their bhumi or land. They're not thinking about the whole planet. That's what environmental pollution, environmental degradation is that much of high, right? But Eastern religions are there, like Hinduism, Buddhism, Taoism, certain beliefs are there, right? As our ancient people, they worshipped big trees, big mountains, big rocks. They worshipped the rain. Have you heard about the term in Sinhala language? Vessa Valahaka Deviyo. Vessa Valahaka Deviyo. It means that the God which is provided, the God who provides the rain. Vessa Valahaka Deviyo. Then Agni, the fire. You all know about. There are certain cultures in and belief systems in Asian context. We believe that fire as a god or goddess, right? Then the clouds, we believe that they are gods and goddess, right? In Greek history and Greek culture, there are many gods and goddess, right? Think about as agriculture society we had in our past. Farmers were there. They cultivated their crops. To do that, they need water from the sky. It means the rain. Then the clouds brings rains. The fire or lightning is there, thundering is there. So when they see thundering, lightning, and dark clouds, they feel that they are gods and goddesses because they brought very useful thing for them. That's water. That's rainy water. That's why they call it Vessa Valahaka Deviyo, right? Because without having all these kind of things, rainy clouds, thundering and lightning, they could not cultivate their crops in this particular moment also, because 2 weeks before, when I was in Belihulu, now I'm in Belihulu, near to at the University premises, right? I met with very famous farmer in this area, right? Then I asked from him, Uncle, are you working at the paddy field now, right? In the paddy field, are you working, are you cultivating crops or paddy now? Then he said that, no, sir, I could not. I'm waiting for rainwater. Then I said that, oh, uncle, there are rainwater in every evening. So why you cannot cultivate your crops? No, sir, because of our irrigation system, we are expecting heavy rain. As the result of that, Hirikatu Oya should be overflown. When Hirikatu Oya overflows, the extra water will come into our paddy fields, our fields. The extra water, when the Hirikatu Oya overflows, extra water will come to our fields. Then it is very easy to prepare the land for cultivation. He was expecting while while talking with me to see the overflowing Hirikatuoya, because otherwise it is very difficult to cultivate his crops. Even today, people in agriculture sector, they are aligned with environment, and they are also expecting rain and rainwater, right? So think about our ancestors. That's what they worshipped, inorganic things like mountains, rocks, clouds, thundering, and lightning, send that Agni, and so on, so and so, right? Those kind of things, beliefs were there. The ecologism borrowed all these concepts from our ancient and Greek philosophies and belief systems. So then, reaction against the process of industrialization. Actually, they do not like to see industrialization very much according to their perspective. Because of the industrialization, environmental damage or environmental pollution is getting high, right? I think you can understand what I mean. There are many thinkers aligned with ecologism. Novelist Thomas Hardy, political thinker Peter Kropotkin, and others. There are many modern thinkers, scientists. They're talking about environment and environmentalism. But among them, the most prominent and most influential thinker was Rachel Carson. She was a writer, right? One particular day, she was in America at that time. One particular day, when she woke up, she saw that number of dead fish in the lake. actually on the lake, right? There are lot of the fishes are floating on the water. When she opens up her window, she saw that incident. Then she started to think deeply. Then she found that because of agricultural chemicals and pesticides, because of agricultural chemicals and pesticides, the fish and other animals in the lake were died. The cause was usage of agriculture pesticides and agriculture chemicals. Then she wrote a book and published it in 1962 under the name of The Silent Spring. Spring means, you know, the very happy environment, right? Birds are flying, butterflies are flying, number of flowers are there, right? Many smells are coming and going, right? Peace and environment is there. That's the attributes or characteristics of spring, right? But because usage of agricultural chemicals and pesticides, the spring did not came because it was silent. That that's why she wanted to. That's what she wanted to highlight by writing a book under the name of The Silent Spring in 1962. So then, big companies, multinational companies, agrochemical companies, they were shocked. They were shocked, right? Because people started to read that book, The Silent Spring. You know, there's a reading culture in Western countries, especially in the USA. You can see while they came to Sri Lanka and travel by bus or by train, while traveling, they are reading a book. There's a reading culture. What we are doing while traveling using the buses or train, sometimes we are surfing internet or Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or any other social media. Sometimes we are sleeping or hearing a song. We are not having a habit to read a book while traveling, but they are very much reader lovers, right? Then people started to read Rachel Carson's book. Then multinational companies, agro companies, they were shocked and they compelled, actually they pressurized to the government to ban the Rachel Carson's book. They requested, they urged, they pressurized the government to ban the Rachel Carson's book. Then luckily, the president was there, very intellectual. What he did, he invited Rachel Carson and took the book, The Silent Spring, and read it. What she wrote in that book, that's what he wanted to investigate by himself. Then he found that that's true. There's no anything wrong in that book. There's no anything wrong which was done by the Rachel Carson, right? Then the president understood everything. Then he started to formulate certain rules and policies to minimize environmental damage of the usage of agrochemicals. From that incident, environmentalism, environmental protection, ecologism came into known as very popular political ideology, very popular one. Then after, there are many others, Elrich Heinemann, Goldsmith, unofficial UN report, then Club of Rome's The Limits to Growth. There are many books and reports where the reports on environment and environmental protection. They emphasize the importance of environment and environmental protection, right? There are a number of research works, reports, articles, books you can find. They all together, but they wanted to say, they wanted to highlight, they wanted to point out environmental issues. What kind of environmental issues? They wanted to highlight very serious issues are currently going on. What are they? The danger of nuclear power. Nuclear power. Nuclear power. You have to think deeply. Sometimes we may feel that it is better if there is no nuclear war between the countries. It is better if there's not usage of nuclear weapon between the groups. But think about, that's true. But think about nuclear wastage. They are very harmful for humanity. They are very harmful for living organism. They are very harmful for humanity and human organs. But we are not thinking deeply on that issues. Then environmental pollution, it is everywhere. Divided reserves of fossil fuels. The level of fossil fuels are decreasing day by day because of usage. In the future, any of us would like to have a luxurious car, right? Luxurious car, luxurious vehicle, luxurious house. But in the future, fossil fuels will, the level of fossil fuels will be decreased. Then environmental conversation, acid rain, greenhouse effect, global warming, climate change. Then the Anthropocene, the newest one. Anthropocene, the term which was introduced by the best scientist, right? Actually, there's no singular term for that, because once upon a time, UK scholar, well-known scholar, Leslie Sikkar, he requested from me to collect some articles under the term of Anthropocene in singular language. Then I tried to find, I tried to get clear understanding about that word from our scholars, but I could not, because there's no single term for Anthropocene. Anthropocene means because of our day-to-day practices, we are contributing to the environmental degradation. That's the meaning of Anthropocene in very simply, right? There are many environmental related issues. Because of those issues, our day-to-day life, our work, our health condition will be in trouble day by day. That's what environmental scientist or environmentalist or ecologist wanted to highlight. In brief, we can say there are two pictures, right? You can see one picture is in my left hand side, other one is in my right hand side. Which one, according to our discussion, which one is the correct one? What is the correct one? Left one or right one? Because left one, the picture which is in my left hand side, it implies man and woman, they are the owners of this natural world. But the picture in my right hand side, it tries to denote, tries to imply us human beings or man and woman. They are not the owners of this natural world. We are the part of natural world. We are the part of that chain. Therefore, we have to protect that chain. We cannot break it. If we break it, then the reaction will be very harmful even for ourselves, right? So then I discuss all these things. We have 15 minutes remaining. If you have any questions, comments, please ask or pass this message through the chat box. Thank you very much for participation. If you have any questions, anything, please ask. Then say to me which picture is the best one, the correct one. Actually, it is written in the slide, right?
Yes.
So any questions do you have? No? Anything from your side?
Sir,
Yes, Sankalpani?
did we finish the feminism lesson, sir?
I think so.
So as far as I can remember, I think we didn't.
Sorry?
I think we didn't finish it because last week